say man. Hey man, say man. Hey man, say man. Hey man, say man. Hey man, say man, it's your boy Big State of Prisoner's Voice. So with the click, live and direct, don't let recommend to a lie or praise be to a lie. Peace, blessed upon the viewers about to watch this blessed interview. We're right here, right now with, go ahead and let the audience know who you is.
Dr. Steph Sanders.
We're here with Dr. Steph Sanders. All my interviews, soft white underbelly, true crime, locked in. I talk about them in all my interviews. I remember I was back in the eighth grade.
Eighth grade.
He had came into class one day. He had told every student that they was just opening up, I think 20 something or 32 prisons, and then the statistics said 7 out of 10 already had our names on the beds. So first, I want to start off by asking you what made you read that type of article.
We had to go back to why I got an education. So I was raised to go into politics. Went to law school, fully expecting to go into politics. Was on my congressional advisory board since I was 13 years old. Black Caucus every year in D.C. as a teenager and all those things. Once I went to law school, I realized the law wasn't for us. My second year of law school, I realized that. My parents passed away at that point. So finding my way into what I wanted to do, they were both educators. I didn't want to go into education because they didn't pay enough. They weren't grateful enough for educators, so forth. But I found my way as they passed away. Part of grieving was going into something they did, went into education, fell in love with it. But then I realized and started doing research around the achievement gap. So the students I was with, such as yourself and everybody there, was at a school where persons had gotten kicked out of districts, returning from juvenile detention homes, things of that nature. That became my passion. So it was about stopping that school to prison pipeline. That time I didn't have the verbiage for it. I didn't know I'd have my doctorate then. I was just Mr. Sanders, just an educator who wanted to do right by us. I wanted to teach all black and brown babies, and I wanted to stop them from going to jail, killing each other, all of those things as narrative. So that's what made me do that research. I started knowing about why prisons were built, the ratios, who they were built for, and then I started doing the math in my mind. Since I was 13 years old, I had lost 70 people in my life. I was shot 3 times, and I looked at all of that as normal, and that's the thing they do to you, make you think that's normal, and it wasn't.
And at what point did you become conscious that and realize that this wasn't normal?
I always was conscious to it because my parents, when I would come home with you come home, I was adopted. So by the way, I was adopted at age 7. My parents saved my life because I would have been dead in jail definitely had I not. I was abused in all 3 forms from my age birth to 7 years old by my biological mother and my stepfather. But anyway, I would come home from school, and you come home with the Hansel and Gretel books. They put in my hand Carter G. Woodson, autobiography of Malcolm X, um, all the John Hope
So you was
Franklin,
reading Black history.
John Hope Franklin, everything you're supposed to read. Elijah Muhammad, So we had experiences, and I knew all about the faith and religions. I was NOI, we were Orthodox Islam, everything of that nature. I was, they built me up to be. So I was built to be conscious from a young age.
Now take us back to where you was born and raised at, because you said you was in Washington D.C. before, right?
Well, that's where Black Caucus was. But I was raised in Dayton, Ohio, and between Dayton, Ohio, and then my adolescent years in Brooklyn, New York. But Dayton, Ohio was where I was born and raised.
And you said adopted. So what happened with your biological parents?
So my biological mom, she was mentally ill. She was paranoid schizophrenic with multiple personality disorders. So imagine fun times with her, arguing with herself. But anyway, her and my stepfather abused me from birth to 7. I was adopted, and they kept me in their life, my biological mother's life, even though I resisted, so forth, because they said that's always gonna be your mom.
And at go ahead.
But go ahead.
And at this time, when you was adopted, was you still in Dayton, Ohio, or did you end up?
I was still in Dayton, Ohio, and it was funny. I was adopted at 7, going on 8 years old. I couldn't read, write, do anything at that age on grade level. And my parents who adopted me did an experiment They put me in private school 1 year, public school the other year. We didn't move out of the hood and nothing like that, but they wanted me to have both experiences, so they knew what they were doing.
And looking back, how did that shape your education?
Wow. We'd have to take another podcast for that one, but
No, go ahead.
no, I mean,
Oh, give us a breakdown of the basics of it.
so basically, what it did was it allowed me to walk on both worlds and know, for instance, what was missing in ours. So, um, ghettos are formed and formulated to take away the resources, take away what you need, and give you make you the have-nots, and then the crabs in the barrel, right? So knowing how they lived, I'm at bar mitzvahs and yachts and things of that nature 1 year, and the next year I'm back with my friends playing kickball and touch foot two and touch football in the streets. So I got the best of both worlds, but I also knew how to walk in that other world. So and get what I needed and take it back to my people. Learn that at an early age, but that's politics. That's why they wanted me to go into that. They said we want you to be able to negotiate for the resources we need, that our people need, and build us up. So that's what I was made to do.
And then what path did you take after them trying to instill that in you?
So just in everything, my parents made me to be well rounded. So I was in acting. I was in dance. I played 13 instruments. I was, of course, a 4.0 student. But they made me well rounded. And then later on, they groomed me to go to West Point, the military academy. We wanted to be a military officer. So I'm 10 years military officer, U.S. Army, but also, again, to give me that experience and that credibility. When people say politician, they kind of that kind of gives you a leg up, and they sent me to law school. I have 10 degrees, as you know. Then I was in school, so MBA. I have 2 masters, 2 bachelors, a doctorate. Went to law school, everything. So just made me so that I'm fortified, so that in any room I don't have to mumble, I don't have to hold my head low. I can talk to anybody and no one's talking above me. So
And
that was
then
their goal.
they groomed you to go to politics, and you end up in education.
Yeah.
And then you also said that you studied on how prisons was built and what they was built for. Can you break that down to us?
So just going all the way back to slavery and the overseer. The overseer nothing but the correction officers, and so learning how that came to be. So they always make money on the backs of the back of the underserved. So they make money off of, what we'll do is we'll form these laws, Jim Crow, for instance, and we'll send them to prisons, and the states will pay us or give us money to have these lock up these niggas, lock up these Hispanics, lock up all these poor people, and they give us money for that. So the more prisons we build, the more money we can get. So prisons are $1 billion industry, and white folks making all the money in Texas and
it's like a warehouse on humans.
Warehouse on humans, and it stopped being rehabilitative early in the 1900s, so it hasn't been that. And only in certain states and certain prisons do they do anything to allow you to rehabilitate or to get your degree or to do things you need to do. So it's for them to treat you as inhumane as they want to treat you, and they know it's full of us, and that's by design.
And
So
that goes back to what the 13th Amendment, where it says slavery is legal.
Correct.
As long as you're incarcerated.
Correct. And the first Civil Rights Act. So a lot of people don't know. They know about the 1964 Civil Rights Act, but they don't know about the first Civil Rights Act, which was right after we so and so got freed. I believe it was 1897. I have to go back and check. But that first Civil Rights Act was about that, and then making us 3/5 of a human.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3/5 of a man.
That's what I say. People be pledging the Declaration of Independence, but even when that was wrote, we was only 3/5 of a human.
Exactly. That's why, and people don't. It's interesting you said the Declaration of Independence and thinking about the people that wrote that. Actually, Trump and MAGA is that. The Declaration of Independence and the forefathers that wrote that were not the same thinking as what they're doing now, and not far off at all. And that's why you see so many intellectual white folks following him.
Yeah,
because that's what the forefathers actually wanted.
He's bringing out what they are already.
It's about us, and we're gonna give y'all what we're gonna give you, but we're not going to give you anything to make you powerful enough.
And we want our shit back.
Yeah.
We want the power back.
Exactly.
So now take us back to Success Academy. How did you end up there?
Man, it's a funny story, and this is no lie. Success Academy was called Success Chess Academy.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
So I thought we was gonna learn chess. I thought I was gonna teach kids chess, man. I'm like, oh, I like chess. I need to learn more. And I walked in the first day. You wasn't there yet. But I walked in the first day, and they gave me a key, and it said, your room down the hall. It said, tell the person that's in there they can go home.
Alpha was all the way to the left.
And this white woman was behind the desk. No lie, like a movie. This white woman, Mr. Gruber, I don't know if you remember her, was behind the desk, and people was throwing stuff and acting crazy, like a scene from a movie. And she said, you my sub? It was lunchtime. She said, yeah. She said, I said, but it's lunchtime. You coming back? She said, hell no. And left. And it was me and them, man. And I said, after the first day, I was so tired, man. I couldn't even keep my eyes on. Went home, went to sleep. Went back the next day. They said, you came back? They said, nobody ever comes back here. And 4 years later, I'd done 4 years there, and I fell in love with the kids there, because it became about the kids and serving. I knew I was gonna be a servant leader from day one, and it wasn't about like, I'm not scared of my people. You know what I mean? I'm never scared. I'm never gonna walk in there scared of my people. I don't care where that is. So it was like, these are all my black and brown babies. They need somebody to teach them. I'm gonna do it. Who's not me, then who? Right? So all these white people would leave at lunch. I mean, all these white people would take the assignment because they thought like me, Success Chess Academy. I said, man, y'all need to take that name. Go ahead and put what this is, and take it off. And I just stayed, man. I just, so me and the core, Mr. Diaz, I don't know if you remember.
Mr. Diaz, I remember.
Valerie Ramos, I still talk to her.
Principal?
She became a pastor. I still talk to her. But the core 6 of us was like, man, we're not going nowhere. So, just became one of those things, and just coming back every day for y'all, man. That was it. Yeah. That became my passion.
And then I get there, and my class is there, and you reading us this article.
Yeah.
How was the class, and how was the class that year? Oh, man, and how was the interaction with each student?
Well, it was off the hook because it was a hands-on school. It was a hands-on school, so anybody know what that means. You get put hands on kids, and they can put hands on you. You might come home, bruised up. I ain't wrestled so much with kids, but it became all in love, basically. It's like whatever. And if they was, you gained your respect, they knew not to put hands on you and stuff like that. But that class was off the hook in that they came every day because they had to most of the time, but they didn't really want to. And realized why they had to learn anything, and why they had to stop that school to prison pipeline, and why they needed to graduate. Why was it important for them not to say, all I'm gonna do is sell drugs? All I'm gonna do is and a lot of them had the attitude already, like 8th grade, I'm not gonna be nothing anyway because I've been told I'm not nothing. Yeah. So that in of itself, I had to, no, we're gonna stop that talking like that. To this day, I don't let my students use any derogatory terms and negative terms about themselves, anybody there. So became my thing, man. It's just like, I'm gonna stop this at all costs. So I needed to open y'all's eyes and say, this is what's happening. This is reality. And this is what the world thinks of you out there, but we gotta change that narrative for yourself at least, and your families, and change that.
So. And how did you develop a educational perspective or educational approach to dealing with kids with them type of mentalities?
Well, I grew up
to make them more interested.
Being authentic. I think, you can't be, you got to be authentic. I mean, that's what I'm saying. My parents raising me, sending me to private school, being in the experiences I was in. I mean, I was in the classes where I fought every week. I was in, schools like that where, you had people selling drugs in the restroom. So all those things that happened, that I was molded and shaped me. So I knew there was reality. I wasn't coming in like this green dude from the suburbs and then like, oh no, we can all drive, station wagons and lilies and all. No, man, I knew it was reality. So being authentic, but showing you there was something else. Like, I've been there, look what I've done, and you can do it even better than me.
So now, you read that article, 7 out of 10 of them beds in prison already got our names on it. How many students out of that class ended up in the incarcerated and in prison?
I have 38 kids that I know of, at least 20. At least 20 that I know of. I followed mostly a lot of y'all. And even, like I told you, Keisha was in that classroom.
Yeah, I remember that.
She went as well. And then I adopted her and so forth. But yeah.
And what do you remember about that school year? How was I as a student? Because my cousin claimed that I never even talked to
you were quiet. You were quiet and quiet resistance. It was like I'm not gonna give y'all no problem, but I don't want y'all to talk to me. I don't want no problems. And I was the only one that was like, okay, I want you. I'm glad you quiet and you kind of are chilling over here, but I also want you to get something from me and from this class. And I knew you was too talented. He was handsome. You could play football. He was smart. I needed you to know that.
Yeah.
And I need you to tap into that and know that, there's this other stuff. You bigger than any of this.
Yeah.
Come out of this and do something. So yeah.
And then all these years later, out of nowhere, you hit me on Instagram.
A friend of mine said, "Man, this dude talking about you. I think on podcast." I said, "No, talking about me." And I saw the podcast. I'm like, "Jamel," I'm like, "Wow." All these, and I couldn't believe you remembered that. But you never know. As an educator, you never know what people are going to remember and things of that nature. I get tons of stories like that, but that's why I stay in it. And that's what keeps me in it,
In politics, what would you say about the Democratic Party? And then its history.
Oh man, it's
because a lot of black people say they're Democrats now, but they don't really understand.
They don't really understand. Well, and I think it just became a matter of it was your only choice at the time to either do that or be Reaganomics or be, like when I was younger, Reagan, Lyndon B. Johnson, and so forth and so on. They staunch racists, but Democratic Party were the covert racists. So it's like, do I want to go the overt way or the covert way? However, now Democratic Party's watered down, and so many, even the black politicians, are either kept quiet or don't resist enough because of fear of not being elected again or reelected. And you can't do anything out of fear. But I do get it because you have to survive. But like I've taught as a leader, if you're not on the verge of getting fired every year, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't stay quiet. And I am almost getting fired every year. But parents and students love me, so they can't fire me because it'd be a political nightmare for them. So yeah.
And what is the Trump agenda?
Oh man, that's another hour too. The Trump agenda.
It was
it's funny, man, because Trump, as dumb or as idiotic and as whatever he seems, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, and people follow him because they think that this, again, like I said, this is not far from what the forefathers thought. This is our land. We're supposed to be for us, and though there's other people here, they're not us. They're not supposed to have the same power as us, same things as us, same levels of resources, same anything. So we're gonna take it back to that, and so people agree with that. People that have been in families and been here hundreds of years still know and wanted that originally. So he speaks to that original idea of the forefathers, and so his agenda is just to do exactly what he's doing. I'm going to continue to starve people, make money, make billions in this presidency, ignore the laws, ignore the Constitution, ignore the Declaration of Independence. These black folk are so endeared to, and think that saved us, and know that there's no black leadership that's going to save them. And even the other side, poor white folks. He don't care about poor white folks either. So they voted for him thinking they was going to get some money, and this wasn't for them.
Yeah.
So I get a kick out of seeing for instance, the Hispanic and Latin population that voted for him and was wearing MAGA hats, and he sent their asses right back to where they from. So.
And what's your thoughts on them stripping black education from the school curriculums down south?
Well, it's actually genius if you white. Is that they are doing exactly what they should
Why
do.
would you take black education or black history out of the schools?
Eh,
What would be the thought behind that?
Well, why if I want to strip a people down to the lowest level, right? So then, for instance, you and I are not in school anymore, but our kids who are, if I'm gonna stop, and right there, that them knowing exactly what you and I know, if we not giving them, like I said, my parents giving me John O. Franklin, Carter G. Woodson, Cornell West, these books and so forth. If nobody's doing that anymore, I'm gonna stop them from learning it in school. That way, they don't know anything but what I teach them.
Yeah.
That is, we're the supreme race. We are, again, your masters. Everything you do is based on what we give you. Based on what we, everything you get is based on what we give you. You can only have so much, and you don't have any power. You don't know about your historical presence. You don't know about the warriors in Africa, the Mali tribes of Mali. You don't know about Kwame Nkrumah. You don't know about any of these things.
Yeah.
Then that I've stripped you of everything you know. I've stripped
Hey,
you
it's
of the
crazy
knowledge
you
about
say
it.
that, right? Because I'm in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, I think it's 2000, 2010, 2011. I'm in a cell. I got the George Jackson book, the Soledad Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So, bam, the gang task hit my cell. RGI hit my cell. They find the book up. They write me up for a violation. And said the book was banned in prison.
Wow.
But I be telling people that it's so important to write books, and it's so important to write, period, because you got to remember, not too long ago, it was illegal for us to read and write.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And basically now, I mean, he's doing it again, a genius job of controlling now. See, for instance, any media outlets that we listen to, he controls CBS now. Forget Fox, they clowns. They control them, but they don't even care. They clowns. He's taken over Paramount. He's taken over the way they make movies. I mean, people didn't know that the Pentagon made most of the movies.
Yeah.
So Pentagon is now no more. It's the Department of War. I'm gonna make the movies I want to make with the stars I want to make stars, and I'm gonna show them that yeah, we're gonna give you your Tyler Perry's, we're gonna give you your these little things. But
you bring up Tyler Perry. I was interviewing this actor in New York. I asked him a question. Would you wear a dress and some heels to get in the door in Hollywood?
I would
What's
not.
your thoughts on that?
I would not, but I'm in Hollywood. I'm in entertainment, so I know a lot of people that do because they feel like that's their life. They feel like that's the only way they can make it.
Now,
does it right? No.
Now look, your son got to look at this film.
Right.
Your daughter got to look at this film. Mama, why is Daddy playing you?
Yeah.
You don't think that's selling your soul?
Yeah, it is. I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh.
I'm just telling you that I know people that do it and I know why they do it. It's not a good reason. Just because it's a reason doesn't make it good. I would not, because it's not who I am, and that's where the buck stops. You gotta have some boundaries, and you gotta stand for something. Because if you don't, you fall for anything. So,
what is the importance of media journalism for the people?
Massively important. Look at you. Look at what you're doing. Look what we're doing right now. So this is going to go to all people that have belief systems such as you, persons that maybe don't see themselves in media, young men like yourself that don't see themselves in journalism and media on TV, that know Stephen A. Smith's, Tom, Uncle Tom. I don't even want to give him the term Uncle Tom because people don't know Uncle Tom was a great dude.
Yeah.
But anyway,
who does Uncle Tom?
Uncle Tom was actually with Harriet Tubman. Uncle Tom used to help Harriet Tubman, so he was actually a great dude. But they call him they made it a degenerative term, but it's not.
Yeah.
So we don't want to give anybody that term. So we're not going to call him Uncle Tom. We're going to call him Clarence Thomas. So they see that, and they see people like you strength in media. They need that.
Yeah.
We need purpose. Like you just said, it's important for people to write. There's no more black authors. All the authors I just wrote about, I just talked about, all dead. So now, can you name 10 black authors that are writing anything other than fiction? Right?
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't happen anymore. So it's so important that we have this. So they stop black education, as you said, in the schools. Black authors now just write fiction because they want to get made into Hollywood movies. Now we don't have anything to go off of, autobiographies. We don't have historical context. We don't have anything to go off of. So black media like yourself is all we have. The podcast the brothers have all over us. Even Shannon Sharp is so important because we need to see ourselves in these things.
And you said your mother was dealing with mental health. What is your advice to somebody that might be dealing with mental health?
Dealing with it or dealing with somebody who is mentally ill? It's two different things. It's
both.
Both. So interesting enough, so full circle, my biological mother, because of what she did to me, I'm a believer, so I don't like to use the word hate. You can't hate anybody, but I love her because she's my mom. She had me. However, it was a great amount of disdain for her. Let's say that. But my parents who adopted me kept me in their life, her in my life, and so forth. And I'm so glad to get away from her. Like I said, when I turned 16, full circle. My parents then passed away when I was a young man. We're going full circle. In 2013, my biological mother shows up at my doorstep, found me in California on a Greyhound bus, backpack, one shoe on at my doorstep. Now I have this woman who's done all these
things,
massively crazy things to me. I'm now her caregiver. So finding the love, and I had to say that? my parents instilled that in me. It's still your mother. You still got to take care of people. You still have to. You got to be the biggest. You have to be the calmest person in the room as a leader, and you have to be the biggest person in the room. So I was always taught that. So now I'm a caregiver. All these years. So now they taught me a whole new type of forgiveness and love and so forth. So anybody dealing with somebody with mental illness, you have to find a way to forgive them and know you may be mad at the mental illness, but not them. You may hate the mental illness or hate the disease, but not them. But I had to get over that.
So tell me this, you are a caregiver. So do you still battle with the demons when you look at her or what she did to you, and then how do you deal with that?
So let me tell you, all the time, she is now in a home. I had to put her in a home because her health got that bad. And I can only stay, I have to set my watch, 15 minutes. My daughter and my sons will tell you, I have to set my watch, 15 minutes. All I can stay there. That's all I can stand being around her, 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I have to go. But yeah, it's very hard.
How important is the act of forgiveness?
It depends. Depends on what you're forgiving.
You must have had to kind of like forgive her a little bit.
Yeah,
that's like a hard pill to swallow.
I only say that for this point. The act of forgiveness is extremely important, and we forgive every day. However, it depends on who you're forgiving. So forgiving my biological mother who had me, who birthed me, for all the betrayal and the things she did, the 3 forms of abuse, physically, sexually, and emotional abuse she formed, her and my stepfather did to me for 7 years, is one thing. Forgiving, say for instance, white folks or what they did to us is another. So you may forgive out of love, you may forgive out of, you got to move forward, but you can't forget on the other hand. So it's different levels of forgiveness, but forgiveness is important because if you don't forgive, then that stays in you and that gives you power. I always talk about, I used to tell y'all this when y'all was in school, never give somebody power over you, and that's emotionally, mentally, physically, anything. So if you thinking about them all the time because you haven't forgiven them, they not thinking about you.
Yeah.
So you got this on you.
In prison.
Yeah, you got these demons on you that ain't on them.
What about your father? You never mentioned your father.
I have not. I have not. So my biological father, not around. My father is my adoptive father.
How important is a father figure in a kid's life?
I say,
I don't even say father figure.
Yeah, I was going to say a
male figure.
Male mentorship and male figures of all types are extremely important. You need to have the big cousin in your life, the big the uncle that talks crazy all the time and makes you laugh. You need to have the one who is stoic and shows you how to be disciplined, how to read and read so many books and do certain things and stay disciplined in whatever you're doing, whether it be martial arts, whether it be intellectual stimulation, whether that's school, whatever. But you need to see males, especially black and brown boys. We have to see males of all types doing that. We need to see people who go to jail come out and recover or never go back and tell you why, right? They've experienced it. So you need to be able to talk to them. You need to. There's all types of males that you need in your life, but it's very important that you have them.
And advice to somebody. What got you into stand-up comedy?
So I told the story earlier. So when I went to the public school every year to fit in with all the white kids, it was only 5 black kids at this school, private school, and it was a school with almost 1,100 kids. 5 of us black. So to fit in, I became the funny guy. So I would memorize all the Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, Moms Mabley, George Kirby routines without the cuss words and do them at school. And I always wanted to go into stand-up comedy because what my mom would do when she would argue with my dad, or they would have a fight or whatever, or she would get mad at somebody, she would go in and listen to the Richard Pryor Moms Mabley records and start laughing. I said, man, whatever they doing, I want to do whatever that is. They make somebody go from crying to laughing. And they always say, "Now you're not doing that. You want into politics, but we want you to be well-rounded." And so I got in. I'm at a job one night, and the guy says, "Hey man, we need somebody." We went to a comedy show. He said we need somebody to do 5 minutes, and my company, my coworkers put me on stage. I did 5 minutes. The guy did so well that the guy put me in a contest that was already going on, the semifinals. I won the contest, and the rest is history.
And how important is laughter for the soul?
Oh, that's supreme, man. You gotta have joy. You gotta have joy, happiness, and gotta laugh, man. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. You gotta laugh. I mean, I talk about the last, you don't even know, the 5 years of my life I went through. I call it hell, and I'm still laughing. I went through a divorce. I lost 2 sons. I had a brain tumor. I had a 22-hour brain surgery to save my life April 11, 2023. I wasn't supposed to come out of that. I wasn't supposed to live. Had to learn how to walk all over again, but I'm still here. So how do you think laughing is important? I tell you that, right? Yeah. So that's what that is.
And when it's all said and done, how would you want your legacy to be painted?
Wow, good question, man. I just want people to be like, the biggest compliment I like as a black man can get, I'm going to say, man, that dude was a good dude and he was funny. Yeah. That's all I want to say. He was a good dude, he was funny, and he's always saying something wise. I try to give somebody to walk away from me something every time, because that's what people did for me. And so I just, just something to walk away with, and knowing that they seen. I like to see people and let them know that they seen.
5 pieces of wisdom. 1.
You are as good as anyone, but better than no one.
2.
Work the problem, never let the problem work you.
3.
Love, trust, and respect.
4.
The 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word.
Miguel Ruiz.
Yes.
Ruiz. Good
and
book.
4 agreements, man.
5.
5th piece of wisdom. Live, love, and laugh, and eat good food.
All right, so now you dying. You on your deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
You got one powerful statement to make. What it's gonna be? Never let them see you stay down. Any last words for the viewers?
Always watch this podcast.
Question.
Yeah, if you gotta tell an up-and-coming teacher or a teacher in the business, like how to approach kids and stuff, what would you tell them?
Be authentic. Be authentic.
And how to deal with kids. Most teachers don't know how to deal with kids and stuff like that.
Be authentic. Be honest. If you a nerd and don't know how to deal with bad behavior, tell them. I've never dealt with behavior like y'all, but look, I love y'all and I want to teach y'all. So how can I reach you? Ask kids how they feel. Ask kids what they want. What a lot of times that we do as teachers make the mistake of, we take our education and what we learn in these books and everything and go into kids, but never ask them what they want. First thing I do with any school I go to as a leader, I do a listening session with the kids separately, the parents separately, and the community. What do y'all want? What y'all want your school to look like? What you want your leader to look like? As opposed to me going in and wasting all the time doing what I did, you know what I mean? And they be like, that ain't what we wanted. So you have to listen to kids. You have to be authentic. If you from the hood, be from the hood. Tell them. And this is where I'm coming. If you tell them your story, Tell them where you and why you teaching. Be authentic. at
Hey
all
man,
times.
say man, be authentic at all times. Hey man, another blessed interview. Hey man, say man. Hey man, say man. Hey man, say man.